She does. We are a fool. Welcome, Misfits. Happy Friday. Thank you guys as always for tuning in, especially for tonight's show. This blows it out the water. I say it every week how I say that this is just going to top the show, but this is going to really set the bar for a lot of shows on what we're talking about tonight. But kicking it off, as always, you have your hosts, your favorite shenanicator, Reese J. Alongside with me running the show is my brother in biz. Where you at, Reggie Reg?
I'm right here, your West Coast wild child, chiming in. Thank you guys for logging in with us today, and stay tuned for a great show.
I like that, and a great show it will be. So, tonight's show, our topic for the evening is the epitome of entrepreneurship. Convo with a power couple. This is just... This was a topic that I say that just hit hard when it comes to this couple. For those who are out there who has, before we even get a chance to put your names out there, for those who have had the pleasure, the blessing of crossing paths with you in life, I really need y'all to give some folks the shout outs, drop some hearts, do some hashtags, real deal. If you already know who we're about to bring up to the forefront, but for those who don't know, you're about to find out. So with that being said, our guests for the evening, 4-star directors, Mr. and Mrs. Preston and Imani Scott. Welcome to the show, you guys.
Oh, Misfits. What's going on? Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you all both for inviting us to come on your platform today. We are so honored to be here with you all on this evening. We're hoping that something that we say that may make y'all laugh, make you think a little bit, that, we will be inspiring and will empower the people that are watching and joining us on tonight. Peace, Scott.
Well, thank you, Shenanigans and Wildflower. We appreciate y'all tonight. We should have came up with some names.
No name. We could have came up with something.
We had to figure that out, you know what I mean? But hey, we're excited and honored to be on this platform tonight with just some giants in the podcast world. So let's kick it off. Let's get some things popping tonight.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So we're just gonna kick it off. Tell us your name, where you from, what do you do?
Let me go first.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I am Imani Scott. This amazing, handsome gentleman here is my husband, Preston Scott. We have been married, you guys, 19 years. Next year in May, we'll be celebrating the big 2-0.
That's what's up.
Listen, and I actually still like him. I tell people that all the time. They're like, yeah, and I actually still like this guy, right? I do, though. But I'm from Maryland. I grew up in the Clinton area. And
country girl.
Yeah, I guess so. Kind of. I grew up, that's where I laid my head. But Lord knows I have many stomping grounds, okay? All throughout the city and throughout, the DMV for sure. But grew up in Clinton. Right now, I actually do this business on a full-time basis. I'm a former educator. I taught for many years, high school. People, every time I tell people high school, they be like, "Oh my God, you had those old kids. How you take it?" But they were a lot different back then. Okay, back in the 90s, back in 99, early 2000, the high schoolers that I dealt with were a lot different than what I think people are dealing with today. But a former educator and got into this industry almost 15 years ago. My husband was actually introduced to the industry of travel. And 8 years ago, I was able to walk away from my job, and I've been doing it full time ever since.
And as she said, Preston Scott, from DC originally, born and raised, uptown.
Uptown.
That's what we do. And
he got him a country girl.
Got me a country girl, right?
Got him a Clinton girl. The Clinton girls was the hot. I mean, we was like
the prize commodity.
Yeah, there you go. Let's get it right.
You had to find him.
You had to find him. That's right.
Right. Straight from PG, pure ghetto. But so after high school, I went to Wilson. After high school, I went ahead and took a chance in the Air Force. Now, United States Air Force for 5 years, and I also had a stint in real estate. I was a mortgage broker. Yeah, and matter of fact, my wife was simultaneously, she was a realtor. So we was trying to dominate that industry. I was a full-time mortgage broker. She was a full-time realtor. So we understand that game as well. However, after the Air Force, I worked at Andrews Air Force Base full-time, really doing the same thing that I was doing when I was in the Air Force, which is Air Force supplies. And then we got involved in the home-based business arena, and we always wanted to travel. Now, I was in the Air Force. Get this, and they shipped me from Washington D.C. all the way to Andrews Air Force Base, which is like 45 minutes from where I grew up. So that was my extent of travel until we was introduced to the travel industry. And I mean, it's been mind blowing for us. Yeah. We've been able to do some amazing things, go some amazing places, but most importantly, we've been able to help a lot of people.
Yeah,
make a lot of money. We've been able to help a lot of people to see the world in ways they've never been able to see before, to make money that they've never been able to earn before. And as a result, of course, we've been blessed as well. And November will be 2 years for me where I actually quit my job to do this travel business full time. Okay. And I quit during the pandemic, right? What pandemic? No, not what pandemic, but I quit during the pandemic to do this business full time. So that's who we are.
Because those sister girl felt like I was doing everything. Okay, I was doing this business full time, but I also had
I
those
do the
kiddos
cooking.
full-time.
Yes, I do the cleaning.
I was like, look, I think we at a point where you need to come home and help. Like you can get this done.
Yeah.
But I was excited to have him to be able to come home. And people always ask us too, Reese, like, how is it working alongside your husband every single day?
Get on my nerve.
He is telling a whole lot. Don't y'all even believe it. Look, and it's funny because my office is right across from his office. And so sometimes he like to work from the little section, the little sitting area in the bedroom. And I'd be like, what you doing? You need to come down here and work, because I might have a question. But I just like the interaction. She won't make
me go do stuff. That's all it is.
I really do enjoy the interaction and being able to work. It was this working together in business. We used to see couples, like power couples that we admired doing it for years. And it was always a goal of ours to be able to, really maximize this industry that we're in and be able to be in position where we could do the same thing. And so sometimes, it was a vision. It was something that we had on the board. It was something that we wrote down. It was a goal. And I like the idea of seeing him in front of me saying, wow, we're actually sitting in a vision that we wrote down, that we made clear, that we ran with, and we're actually living it. So it's no longer on our vision board. So, and I like basking in it. I like to see him and be like, wow, we did that. Like we actually are doing what we wanted to do, the thing that we put on the board. So.
Now she got to ask me when she can take a lunch break.
You know what? You know what? You know what? You know what?
I love that.
Now, can I go with the first official hard hitting question out the gate? Can I do it?
Come on, let's do it.
Go for it.
All right. So my first initial question out the gate will be this. Now that we've heard, we got your names and where you're from and those things like that, who is Preston and Imani Scott?
Who's Imani?
When you strip it all those other things we just talked about away, who is Preston and Imani Scott?
So Imani is a person who is I like to refer to as, and Preston does too, as a superhero. And I say that because even as a young person, I've always fought for other people. I've always been a strong person. I was raised as a single, in a single family home by my dad. My mom died when I was very young. She died when I was 9 years old. In fact, it was 3 days before my 10th birthday. Wow. And and so I had a younger brother who was about 2 years old when she passed, a sister that was a year under me, and then I had an older sister that was 6 years older than me. But we had to do a lot of things on our own. My dad was there, but he worked 3 different shifts all the time. So I became the person that took care of people and always defended people. Whoever was the underdog, you could count on me to be the person that was going to take up for them, that was going to help them to win. And so I am that person at the core. And it's funny because Preston had given me that title. It's like, you're the superhero, because I am. I also, at the core, is a person who operates in the level of exhortation, meaning I am the pusher friend. I'm the person that's going to push a person to their next level. I'm the person that's going to motivate them, encourage them. I've often been told by friends and people that, once they leave my presence, they feel like they can really jump off a building and fly, because I pour in at that level. Yeah, no, I'm like, please don't do that, right?
Right.
We need for you to push her.
Right. But I'm the one that will push you and motivate you and encourage you, and I want people to win. And so, and when I love you, I love you. You know what I mean? And when I'm for you, I'm for you. And it's like when I embrace you as my family, you my family. And you all probably know that. Y'all are watching. Y'all don't know this, but y'all need to partner with us so y'all can get in on this. But let me tell you something. These two here, they are my family. And
The love is real. The love is real. Honestly, the love is real.
The love is very real. And I'm going to tell you, I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about helping people, and I'm passionate about seeing people win. So that is probably me at the core. Would you agree with that piece, guys?
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And I would say that I'm the fun-loving straight shooter that loves helping people. I love seeing people smile. I love seeing people laugh.
Yeah, and you do a good job at that too.
I'm extremely competitive. I'm a grinder. I'm hungry, and I'm hungry for success. And anybody who's around me, I believe it's going to rub off on you. So I love to have fun, love to help people, and most of all, I love to make money. That's me.
Oh, that's true about you.
Okay.
I'll agree. He didn't tell no lies, and he's very funny.
No lies detected. I've been around. I've been around for about those 8 years almost, and I can tell you it is all truth. It is definitely truth. And you guys left out a lot, but at the end of the day, like you said, they partner with us. They'll see the rest.
They'll see the rest.
They'll see the rest.
Come on this side to see it all.
Come on over.
So I love that. So I want to ask, how and why did you pursue a path in entrepreneurship?
Oh, so the funny thing is, so when I was working, so let me just give y'all a little short background. So before I met Preston, I was into really writing a lot. My initial goal was to be an actress, believe it or not, and to be a writer. And I had plans to go to California. And one of the reasons why I got into education was because I was doing these little short films. And I was like, oh, this would be a great job for me to be able to be off during the summer so I could go to these film festivals and all of that kind of stuff. And never in a million years did I ever expect that I would be in this path. But I didn't equate wanting to be a writer as really being a business owner or entrepreneur. And so, but I always have been hungry. And so one day when I was working a job in Bethesda, I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that was the book that really changed the projection and how I perceived what I really wanted to do. I didn't know that there was a real difference, or what I really wanted to do was entrepreneurship. I just knew that I didn't want to be the poor dad. And so when I read that book, I was like, wow, because I was on the path of getting degrees and all of that stuff. But I was like, wow, I didn't realize that this was something very different. So that was the one book that really changed the scope for me. And so I ended up getting involved in network marketing early. And I've been doing it for a long time. I would say, because that's how he got my phone number, actually.
Hey, wild child. I was trying to sample them products.
You know what?
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
He always say that to people, and I always got to come back behind him.
I didn't say I got the product. I said I was trying to sample the product. What you selling? What you got?
She already told you to keep it clean.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
So anyway,
just think it is a selling tool for Costco, right?
Right.
You know what?
Once I read that book, it really did change my perspective. And from there, I knew that I needed to be in position where I was an entrepreneur. And so I began pursuing different things, just trying to find what was going to be the best fit for me, what was going to really revolutionize my life and take my life to the next level. And so I tried a few different things over the years. But then when we got introduced to travel, it was like peanut butter and jelly. You know how some things just go together? Like
Yeah.
it just matched. It just worked.
Ironically, the same book for me.
I know.
When I was in the Air Force, I had no entrepreneurial aspirations at all. Zero. I was going to be, 20 years in the United States Air Force. That's the path I was on. And I actually sat with a gentleman who, like, I guess he would set appointments up with people in the military to help them with insurance or something like that. And we sat and we talked, and I believe that he introduced me to the book, if I'm not mistaken. But I remember being at my desk on Andrews, man, reading. I think I was working like the late shift. And I remember reading the book like, hold on a minute, this is why I'm broke. Right? This is why
I'm on the wrong path.
This is why families are where they are. It just changed my whole mindset. And from that point, I said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get into the entrepreneur game. And my first business, I was living with I had my own apartment, and I moved a partner in with me, and he was my Congo player from my band, and I moved him in with me.
So those inserts?
Yeah. So we went online. We started selling incense and candles and fragrances. I was like, yeah, I got.
Did I ever buy any from you?
Yeah, I sold you something. That's right. You had my products too.
Oh my God.
What's funny?
I was selling that.
I was selling my products at church.
That's right.
Right. But what's interesting, Preston, is, and I forgot about this too, that we both were inspired by the same book, and that's how, I always knew
same time too.
Maybe, but I always knew that this was God ordained, just us meeting each other and just the relationship, because you guys, we are only dated 6 months. And then 6 months later, we were married, and
she couldn't help it, Slim. She was like, "Ooh, I got to get it."
What?
Who y'all think was really doing that? Okay, I'm not going to tell y'all how he
was. Oh. Yeah, don't worry. We will dive into that a little later. Don't worry.
Thank you, Reggie, because we're gonna have to get the real deal truth about who was really stalking who here. But man, I do think that it was, it was really truly ordained by God that we met, and how everything just kind of
listen. So I took her out. I asked her out, and I said it was going to be business, and I made sure it was business, right? However, we had a conversation about vision. We had a conversation about something that I was aspiring to do. When I left that dinner, it was at what was the name of that place? Black Eyed Peas.
Black Eyed Peas.
Black Eyed Peas.
On Oxon Hill Road.
Oxon Hill.
Y'all know that. Oh, right, Reese. You remember that back in the day?
And listen, she didn't give me no play, no indication or nothing. But I knew. I went home and called my mother and said I just had dinner with my wife. She said,
"Wow, I love it."
I'm glad he told me that right away, because I'd have been like, I tell you, and I remember that particular business meeting. Preston wanted to pay, and I insisted. I was trying, no, because I don't want you to think this is anything more than what it is, because this is a business meeting.
Oh, you go set the tone like.
But then
I insisted.
He insisted
because I invited.
He said, "Well, I invited you out, and you would not have to eat out here, having a meal and spending your money if I would not have invited you to, And I was like, okay, well, that you made a good argument there, so I did allow him to treat me, but I had to make sure it was clear, like, don't get it twisted, dude.
I was like, oh, trust me, it will get twisted eventually. No, listen.
Don't get it twisted.
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
Oh my goodness. Now y'all starting to get to understand why we say this. Our guest today, truly, epitome of entrepreneurship. I mean, I just feel like I'm good with metaphors. I always throw those out there, but the vibes that I get from you guys and what makes me keep pushing and keep going, it's like you give me Michelle and Barack vibes in the travel business. No, because you can tell the difference when you're working with people and you're conducting business. You can tell for those who are really passionate about it, who's really not selfish, really cares, like truly cares, and it goes a long way. Like even when they try to say that in most, industry or corporate America, oh, you got to take care, you got to show your employees that you care
Right.
about them and things of that sort. And that's just like, yeah, you're writing that down in the standard conduct book. But when you feel that genuine, the genuineness from it, and it's like, like you said, we become family, and it's like that the loyalty comes in, that passion comes in, that support comes in. It's amazing. I love it. I love it. I'm so glad I feel where I feel at in the right in the right leg of this business. I'm just beyond grateful for it. But
and it's funny because people have compared us to Barack and Michelle before too. That's why we laughed at that. I was
Yes,
like,
we can.
we
I thought y'all should have said it was corny. Yeah, I was about to say, I promise
no,
y'all.
a lot of people have said that. That's why we kind of chuckled. I was like, oh, that's another person that used that same analogy when they were describing us, just who we favor for them. And a lot of people say that. Yeah.
I mean, it's Cephas and Reese for me. They still together, you know. Like,
We got a little bit of that too. We got a little bit of that too.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all dating yourself with that one, boy.
Yeah. Y'all old on here.
it's no doubt. You see,
Oh, listen, you just
Hey.
can't see the close up on what I got going on in here with this because he got a lot too. I got a whole bunch of little strands too. So I can
Wisdom.
Gotta hide that side.
wisdom.
Yeah.
I try to cut that side off.
Look, usually I have a few and I can like just kind of pluck them. But I was like, oh, wait a minute, y'all trying to come through. I might have to, get a little box of
They
Claymore
come through
or
with a
something in a few
force.
minutes.
Oh my goodness.
I'm about to go to Beijing.
Remember that color? Oh my God.
I'm about to use my travel agent discount. To go to Beijing.
didn't say Beijing though. Like just
Oh my goodness.
You're dating yourself. Good Lord. I don't
Oh
even
my goodness.
oh man.
Oh
Hey,
my goodness.
Look, we told y'all he's funny,
we'll take
right?
a fam trip to Beijing.
Terrible.
Take a
It's terrible. Oh my goodness.
Lord, help him, please.
I'll play too.
So uh, good gracious, Tessa. Reggie, you want to kick in? Let me get some water. You want to
All
kick
right.
in with the next question?
So next question. So basically, when you guys Imani, I'm gonna start, I'm gonna give it to you.
Okay.
When he came to you with this idea that but we're gonna put our eggs in this travel basket, what in you said, what? I'm gonna trust him, I'm gonna follow him, and I'm gonna support 100%. What gave you the confidence in him that it was gonna be the right thing to do?
Honestly, Reggie, I've always had that confidence in him. He could have brought me a box of crayons and said, we're going to do this. And I'd have been like, okay, how we going to do it? I've always supported whatever, 100%. Our thing has always been, as long as we're doing it together,
Yep.
it's going to be, if we sink together, we're going to sink
Okay.
together. Win together, we're
Okay.
going to win together. And it's like, I just trust him, and I trust him as a husband. I trust him as the head of our family and as our leader. And I just trusted him in business. And I figured, well, if it didn't work, then, hey, we tried our shot. I mean, I knew that we both were pursuing entrepreneurship and we both were looking for something that would help our family to increase and take us to the next level. So when he came home with it, I was like, all right, let's run with it. And our first opportunity actually was way more than it cost to start this business. And we weren't even making a lot of money. I know I was in education.
We had to put on a credit card.
Yeah, well, our teachers weren't making a whole lot. Y'all know how they do us in education sometimes. But we did. We put it on the credit card, and I was like, okay, let's run it. Let's do it. And we were very successful in that company as well. But I think when we started up,
not
not the first, not the
we
very
had
first.
some success.
No.
He said, let's take the very off.
Right. Well, you know what? We might be thinking about. So we've been a part of 3 different companies.
Right. 3
This
different.
is our third.
I can start with you on the second one.
But the very first one,
we did make money though.
We made money, but you're right. I wasn't thinking about that one being very successful. I was thinking about the second. The second business, we were very successful.
We started cranking in the second.
Yeah, we were cranking in the second one. But the first one that we paid more money for, you know. Right. But the thing of it is, I don't think we were really, it was new. We were new parents of 2 young children.
That's right, yeah.
And so I couldn't really contribute that much because I had the babies at home, right? And so I was supporting him from doing it, but I couldn't really attend a lot of the meetings and events and stuff because we had 2 young children. Our kids are 2 years apart. So I was home, taking care of the business of the family while he was kind of out doing some of those things. And so we were moderately, I don't know if I would consider that really successful, but we also didn't really work that business.
We didn't know.
We didn't know. Right. I mean, we didn't. So, I mean, it wasn't the same type of work and, I guess, effort maybe going towards it. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, and that's important to say because, like, if people think that they're going to start a business and you're not going to do much and you think you're going to have success. And the reality is you're just not. You have to do it. The success just doesn't come. You got to put in the work. And so I would say with the very first company, we really wasn't putting in the work, but we wasn't really what's the word I want to say?
It was a lot. We weren't invested in the business.
Yeah, we wasn't really vested that much.
What we were doing.
Right.
What I mean? We were new to the industry, new to the game.
We were new to the travel industry, but not new to the industry of network marketing though. Right. Right. We wasn't new to the industry of network marketing, but new to the travel industry. So yeah, it was okay. But which one did we take the trip in with? The second one? The one that was a turning point for us. Second okay, so then we, so we didn't do that one, and we got introduced to another one, and we ended up doing that business. So that was the second one that we were very successful in, and we took a trip to Jamaica, our very first trip outside the country.
Yeah, man.
And we went to the Grand Palladium. It was a brand new resort. They were still actually building Lady Hamilton. And that was Preston's first. That was our first time. We had been on a cruise, but a cruise, you just kind of get on the island for a little bit and then you leave. So you don't really get to experience it like you really want to. And so we went to Jamaica. And when we went to Jamaica and actually saw our feet in that water and could actually see our toes, we said, whoa, wait a minute. I mean, just everything was so grand. And just that experience was the real turning point. And that's when we really said, oh, we gonna make this work for us.
That's true.
Yeah, that was the turning point because we were like, man, if this is
other people need to experience this.
That
was our mindset.
That was our mindset.
And we saved $1,100.
Yeah.
So it's like, what?
Because we went on that trip for what, like $200?
It was a total of like 7 and some change.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. So we were like, wait a minute, is this what we got?
Right.
wait a minute. We need to figure out how to make this work. So, when he came home with it, I just supported it 100%. But after that trip, we really turned it up.
We did.
Yeah, we did. You gonna ask Preston? You gotta ask the same question.
No. That was your question to you.
Oh, I thought he said he was starting with me. I thought he was gonna ask you too, but maybe I guess you don't have to, right? Because you can't.
Well, the question the question fits both. The question fits both because I just wanted to know, what your level of confidence in him. But at the end of the day, for you, Mr. Scott, were you hesitant?
That's good.
Or did you feel like, you wasn't sure or whatever that she would say when you came to bring that opportunity to her? Because remember, like she said, you got 2 young kids at home. There's things going on. Was there any hesitation on your part? Was there anything that made you feel like, what? I hope what? You know what I mean? What was your feeling on that?
No, I think that's like a good question for me. She had already created that environment for me where I felt that I could do whatever I needed to do to get this family where we need to get this family. When we first got married, she was actually the breadwinner, if you so to speak. She was making the most money. Then it got to the point where we were kind of even. Then it got to the point where I was making the most, but it was never we've always just been like, we're gonna do this together. It's just been
We always had one pot.
Always had one account.
So we never argued about money.
It was never any of that. So I knew that I had the ability to make that decision because she created that environment for us.
Yeah, because I was going to say sometimes you'll have couples and people say, well, I need to check with my spouse first, before I make certain decisions. And that's cool. But, some things we've always shared everything. Everything has always been in one pot, no matter who was making what. We never had any separation with anything. So when he came home and asked about it, it was just a matter of, hey, we're going to start this travel business. And I was like, okay. let's see how that works.
But also I'm just the kind of husband where if it would have been her that would have found it, then guess who would have been home with the kids? It'd have been me. You know what I mean? Because if she would have been the one that found what made it work, then you found what made it work. So we just had that environment where it really didn't matter, but I felt so free to go out here and get it because I knew that she was gonna have my back regardless.
That's
Now I will say, because you don't probably know to ask this question, but I like to, share with all of the people. There were times though in the second opportunity when you were gone a lot and doing a lot or up a lot, and I was like, look, dude.
Come downstairs. No, come upstairs, bro. I'll be like, all right, let me go ahead upstairs and I'll be on the call. I'll be back, y'all. I gotta go. I'll be back. Let me take a time out.
You understand that? I know. I can't say from the very beginning of that opportunity, but I do remember those days and weeks and months where I felt like I was on the phone with Preston more than I was at work. Like,
imagine how the wife was feeling. First of all this stuff with the kids and the family. Then I'm like, dude, if sister got needs, you need to come up here and meet these needs. Then go back downstairs.
The power of speakerphone was amazing. Like, I'm just gonna lay this down. I can hear him in the other room. I know I can. Like this is the third one today. Like Jesus Christ.
Oh, wow.
No, but that's a good thing you guys touch bases on. And we actually had that listed as something to ask as well. Like, how do you clearly you have done an amazing job of making it work, hitting 20 years of marriage. That is major. That's major. So, like with that being said, you're a wife, you're a husband, you're a mom, you're a dad, you're business owners. You gotta make that time out to be a mom, be a dad, be a business owner. How do you guys go about setting up that time to be Mrs. and Mr. Mr. and Mrs. Preston and Imani Scott? Like, is that a spontaneous as you go, or is that we're going to write this schedule out of when we're going to put in our quality time?
You know what I mean?
like how do you do? Because you hear so many people that want to make change and do different things in their life, and I don't have time for that. I got to do these kids. I got to do work. I got to run this. I got to make sure hubby okay. I got to make sure wifey okay. But you guys are doing it all. You know what I mean? So like, how do you do that?
So one of the things I will say for us, just to put it in perspective, it might be a little different for some families because Preston and I happen to be in the business together. Whereas if you have, like before, if you have a spouse that's not really working the business and only one is working the business, then you got to kind of have that agreement. But for us, we've done it a couple ways. At one point, sometimes we do schedule, like we pencil in date night, and there'll be nights that we go out and do things. Or even if we're doing date night in the house, like we'll come down to our basement, kind of lock the door and just, watch TV or playing whatever we're going to do, get our food, lock the kids out because the door down here only locked from the inside. So they can't get in because you have a key.
That was smart.
Right. So, but they're also old enough where they don't really bother us as much either. But we do both. Sometimes we have sometimes we're spontaneous, but most of the time we kind of playing.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
What we realize, there's no such thing as balance. There's only priority. So we prioritize based upon the need at the moment. And we're so honest with each other hey, look, hey, Slim, I need you to put that calendar, close that calendar, and I need you right now. And she ain't got no problem with that. And if she tell me, get off that phone, I need you right now.
Yeah.
I ain't got no problem with that. My family come first. I'm never going to sacrifice what I'm sacrificing for. So although I'm cranking in the business, family always going to be first, period.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, and I think that's the key when you have couples and married people that are married is like you do have to be honest, and you and not only with the honesty, you have to be able to be in a position where you don't really get offended either. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to get you to not do something. I'm telling you I need something from you, and you have to be okay and say, okay, you know what, my husband needs something from me, so I have to meet that need. And it's not even necessarily sex. It could just be, hey, I just need to talk, or I just need, I just need some moments with my wife just to sit down. And maybe you're not talking. Maybe you're just going to chill, but you just kind of, because sometimes you just need that space, where you could just have some mental rest. Because when you're an entrepreneur, it's always on. It's very hard to turn it off. Yeah. Like, because sometimes we're at dinner, we're supposed to be on date night, but we still talking business. And again, that's why I said, but we're in the same business, working it together. So it's a little bit different. But if I wasn't in this business and I went out to dinner with my husband and all you doing is talking about, that's going to be a problem for me. You know what I mean? But because we're in it together, it's not a problem because we enjoy talking about, helping people and what we do. But if I was a wife whose husband had his own business and, when I go out there, I don't want to talk about your business. I want to talk about us. I want to talk about life. I want to just talk about other stuff. I don't want to hear about your business all day, or at least not on my date night. You know what I'm saying? So okay. We generally have it on all the time. So we just have to actually try to turn it off, really.
And then there's a major business event that's coming up that I decided after having a conversation with my son that I'm going to forego that business event and spend some time with my son. Sometimes you got to make that decision. But in doing that, I said to him, son, understand it's not always going to be the situation. In some cases, dad going to have to roll. And some cases, business is going to be first because this business is what allows me to spend more time with you. However, this coming up event, I got you. I'm going to stay home with you.
He wanted to do it because he has a major event that he wants to do. And he didn't want to miss it. He only has one opportunity to do it because my baby get ready to go into middle school. So this is the last little year for them to go to their little Camp Smith. And so
hey, man, you gotta go.
Still open.
Yeah, girl.
I was asking somebody about that. Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
But he's right, because sometimes you do have to take time away and put your kids. So it is about prioritizing, even with the rest of the family. Like, I miss my daughter's getting ready to graduate this year. So she has a lot of things going on with colleges and all that stuff. So that's kind of more or less my lane, more so than Preston's lane. And so
because I never stepped foot inside of a college. Well, that was a whole different reason, but not for education purposes.
We were like student union. You went.
There you go. Oh yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Right. So there's a lot of things that are going on where I'm having to, really shift priorities and things because we have different transitions going on in our family as well. So,
okay, so I got a follow-up question to this. Do you think it's important for the couple to share in the business? I mean, to me, I think it works better if both are involved. That's my personal take, and I can, I'm not going to put that on anybody else. But asking the opinion of you two who are doing it, do you think it's a better situation that both are engaged in the business?
Not necessarily. It depends on the couple. We view our relationship, our marriage, as a corporation, right? So that's the business that we're both involved in. We just so happen to be involved in a travel business as well. But I would encourage a couple to sit down and have an agreement. Like, we have family meetings. Like, we sit down and we discuss the family, and we have those tough conversations. We have those, conversations. And in this moment, nobody's getting mad, right? There's no arguing. I need to know what you feel in this environment. So now we don't have to cuss each other out because we've dealt with it in a civilized manner in that family meeting. So I would say everything is based on that couple. And because she's done businesses where I didn't have anything to do with it. One time she was wrapping bodies. I ain't wrapping nobody's body. You follow me? So I didn't have anything to do with that business, right? But I fully supported her. And then even in those moments, she would go out and do events, and I would be home with the kids because that's what was popping at the time. You follow me? So it just depends on the situation. I wouldn't necessarily throw that label on every couple.
But what I would say as a spouse, if you're not going to be involved in it, which you don't have to do, just don't bash it and make it difficult for the spouse that's trying to build the business for the family, because that makes it very difficult for the person who's trying to win for the family to be able to do it with the level of freedom that they need to do it. Because in the back of your mind, you just like, oh, I'm trying to do this. And, and I'm not saying nagging necessarily, because it could be a husband or a wife, whichever one is not doing the business, but just be supportive of your spouse in the role that they have in the business, even if you're not going to be a part of it. Don't downplay it. Don't, even in the beginning, because, in business, you don't always make money right away. So Don't knock the fact that they invest in the time, but you haven't seen a lot of the income, or at least the income that you want, because you see income right away as soon as you start working when you sponsor people, but it may not be the amount of income that you're expecting to get from the spouse that's looking in. It's like, well, you doing all this and all you making is such and such, but give it time, because if you allow them to work this business and follow the coaching and the leadership of this business, I can guarantee you, if you haven't started this business, you're going to make money. And that spouse is going to sit back and be like, oh, wait a minute. Not to mention the trips that they're going to be able to take. So, just always be supportive of your spouse, even if you're not going to do the business together. That would be my main thing about that. Like, don't bash it. Don't make it difficult for your husband or for your wife when they're trying to win for your family.
Good stuff. You got something, Reese?
Yeah, I was going to, because she touched bases on support. We was going to talk about that, but I'm going to twist it a little bit. If you could explain, if there is an importance, what is the importance of having a support system when you're building an empire? And this would be, because you already touched bases on, when it comes to having that support as a spouse. So we're going to step out from, family members, or, because that's one thing people tend to not brag about, but complain about. My family don't support me. My friends don't support me. But being open to, outside of that, having a support system in order to build an empire, what's the importance of that? Or is there any importance when it comes to that?
It's everything, really. I mean, we talked about how she was supportive of businesses that I've done and I brought to her. I've been supportive of businesses that she has brought to the forefront, and still, bring it to the forefront. When she wanted to come up with a book or a brand, I helped design the brand. I helped come up with the brand that she was going to put out for her book. So we, that's very important, if you're going to work together, because we spend every day together. If I don't have her support, nobody else support really matters. Quite frankly, for example, when we were in the previous project and about to come to this project, we were making somewhere around about $3,000 a month in that project. And I'm like, man, if I click this button, it's over. And she was like, do it. And that was enough. After I heard her say that, I remember I was at the table. We had a computer up against the wall. She was in the kitchen. We had a little window, and I just heard her say, do it, man, push that button. And then even when I was about to quit my job.
But then when you pushed the button, I said, is it done? And I said, what did I say? Thank God. Something like that.
You said something. Okay, after it was done, I sat there and was like, oh my God, I just did it. And I forgot what you said, but whatever you said, it calmed me. Mm-hmm. Because again, I knew that she was with me. If we were going to sink together, we're going to swim. We're the bad boys, bad marriage for life. No, I don't want to say that. We got good marriage, but
we ride together, we die together.
Ride together, die together, good marriage for life. But also when I was leaving my job, You know, it came to a point where I'm like, man, okay, is this really the time? And she said, oh yeah, it's we got to get you out of there, man. I didn't care what nobody said.
Yeah, because in fact, I think I came to you though and said, I think it's time for you to go ahead and let this go.
Yeah, I think you did.
I came to you first, and you was like, "You think it's now?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's time to say goodbye.
Get about it."
Yeah, but I would say too, just because I know people do say that about having support. I can tell you a lot of times your number one supporters may not be your friends or your family. So if you're thinking about starting a business and you're thinking, oh, I may not get support from my family and friends, it doesn't matter. A lot of times people get way more support in business from strangers than they do their family. And I think part of that is because people know you, and so when people know you, there's a few different reasons why people don't support. One, sometimes just being quite honest, people don't want to really see you get ahead. It's like they don't really want to do it, but they don't really want to see you successfully doing it either. And that's one. Then two, it's people that just don't necessarily feel comfortable. It's like, oh, you just got it in this. You knew you haven't been doing this long enough because they know you. But strangers don't know how long you've been doing anything. You know what I mean? So they're like, oh, okay, you're a travel advisor or a business owner. I'm a partner with you. But once people see you doing it and seeing you successful, most times they'll swing back around. Like it took a long time for any of my family members to even partner with us. And we have one, just one right now that's actually partnered with us. And she's very, very successful right now. And it took her a while. She just started building it little by little. She's a millennial, but she's having great success in travel. And she's booking all types of stuff for clients. And she's getting paid nicely.
My cousin said over there, hey man, hey cuz, I gotta get with you, Slim. I gotta get with you.
You're right.
We might watch it right now.
Because sometimes it takes people want to see you being successful a little bit before they.
A prophet is not without honor, except in his own hometown.
Yeah, that's true. And they just want to see you win it. And they want to make sure you're going to be consistent for a little while. Like, let me see you really work this business for a while before I support you, in doing it. But I wouldn't worry about that.
Some of them just hating. Not you, cuz, but some of them.
Right. And that's true.
You said it's not you, cuz.
Right. But, I wouldn't worry about family and them not supporting you. Just if it's something you want to do, get involved in doing it because you have a whole team of 2,000 plus people that's going to support you. So I'm just saying, because this is a family. It's a business, but it's a business, but it's really like family. That's the culture that we have. So Absolutely. You're going to get the support that you need when you decide to partner with us. So I wouldn't worry about that. I wouldn't let that be the reason you don't do something for yourself. Let me say it that way.
Love it. West Coast Wild Child.
Yeah, I got some. Let's see.
West Coast.
When things are not necessarily moving, I guess in the right direction or the way things, normally go. When stress starts to kick in, life starts to kick in, because we all have those moments where, life shows up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, do you guys have a way of handling this the situation between each other, like like a cool down period, and then because me, I like to talk it out. You know what I mean? Like for me, I want to talk it out. I want to get all cards on the table. I want everybody to have an equal opportunity to speak their piece about the situation, so we can come to an agreement about what the situation really is. And then agree to disagree on the solution and move on.
And that's the basis. That's why I talked about our family meetings, and us having discussions and just being upfront. Being 100. This isn't working. We need to try this. We've tried this for a significant amount of time now. Let's go ahead and make a shift. Let's pivot here. Let's pivot there. So we definitely have those conversations. And you just got to put it all out on the table. I mean, everything that we've done hasn't worked. Everything hasn't been successful. And then, we fill ourselves with personal development and as well. We read Also, we understand that we have a Father that we believe in. We're men and women of God as well. So we always putting God first. So even though some things may not seem as if they're going a particular direction, we know what the end result is. We know we're going to always win in the end. So that's what keeps us excited about the journey, because we know what the destination is.
Yeah, and another thing that we do too, and I would say Preston and I have a very strong relationship. Probably not like a lot of other couples, honestly. Because I rarely see what we have in other couples. I'm just going to be honest. Sometimes we have our own little moments too. Like if I'm feeling like overwhelmed and really, really stressed about things and just need a moment to step back, because sometimes you need that. It's like, when you're pouring out all the time, especially as a wife and a mother, a business owner, you're sharing and pouring into your team, your kids, your family, your spouse, everything. Sometimes you just have to have those moments where you take time for yourself to fill back up, because you really just can't pour from an empty cup. And so in those situations, sometimes I may say, okay, Preston, I think I'm going to take a couple of days, and I may go down to a hotel and stay for a couple of days, just, like a staycation, or I come down to my basement and lock my little door. And let me tell you, I'll pull out all my little stuff down here. I have all my snacks, all my little drinks, everything. And, I have moments to myself where, and I just kind of relax and, shut things down and just do some things that I enjoy doing by myself. And Preston does sometimes.
In 14 days, me going to Jamaica by myself.
So he's going to Jamaica.
Hey, and you might bump into Reese.
Listen,
okay.
And it's funny, that's why I said, you really have to have a strong foundation, because like many people are like, you ain't going to Jamaica by yourself. Oh hell no. He's going to take a trip, and that's going to be his unwind. And trust me, I take plenty of trips. I've gone tons of places in the last every month in September, every weekend in September. But sometimes you just have to take that time for yourself. And because we're all still individuals, we're married and we work in our business together, but we're still individuals and with our own needs and our own, things that we go through on our own, mental stress and all of that stuff. And sometimes you just need a moment to yourself. And like Preston takes a lot of walks. A lot of times he'll take breaks during the day and he'll go for a walk, or sometimes he'll just get in his car and go for a ride a little bit, So it's different things that you have to come up with.
Cheesesteaks.
Well, right. Right.
But that
cheesesteak was ridiculous.
Unbelievable. This one was like this.
Yeah, I've never seen nothing like that. They shouldn't even sell it.
They need to be arrested.
That's for a family of 5. Yeah.
Should have been
Okay. But my man told me to go to Max's next time. I might do that.
But yeah, so you just got to take those moments for yourself too.
Yep.
Okay.
Fill your cup.
All right. So before we close it out with the fun part.
What?
We have been having fun.
As long as y'all ask us to sing.
I don't know. Preston said he used to be in the band. We might get
those days are long.
I know Imani got some vocals. I know you got some vocals. We're gonna have to bring it together.
Oh man.
But no, just like we had people comment saying this was so authentic. They're not even in the business, like they could just feel the love. And I'm glad, because they're getting a glimpse of what we get to get on a regular basis and what keeps us going. So like, to those people out there that's sitting on the fence, that's contemplating starting a business, or trying to pursue entrepreneurship, what would be your takeaway advice to them? And then not even just entrepreneurship in general, because I have to say this is the best of the best of the best. I'm going to say why entrepreneurship in this travel business. Why travel? Why now?
Yeah.
Want me to go first?
Ladies first.
Okay. A couple reasons. One, the travel industry, you guys, is the number one industry in the world. It's sexy. It's relatively easy to sell. It's a product that everybody already loves, that they already enjoy. And most people are either doing it now or it's something that they want to do. So it just really makes a lot of sense for a lot of people. The other thing is our culture and our community within our team, within the Platinum Network. We've been saying it all night long, and I can tell you we we really don't get paid to say this, but the environment really is amazing. Like the culture is amazing. We tell people that you're in business for yourself and not by yourself. And that's truly how, this business is, especially when you partner with us. Two, it's 10 trillion almost industry. So you're going to make money. It's enough on the table for everybody to make money. And if it's something that you want to, if you enjoy traveling, you're looking for ways to save on your travel, you love helping people, you're already booking stuff for your friends and family anyway, but you're just not getting paid to do it. That means you're doing it for free. So many different reasons why you should do it. And then I would say, you get to work with us. I mean, like our team has like 6 different ambassadors, master ambassadors. So we're qualified to train all 70,000 agents.
75,000.
75,000 agents. Thank you for the correction. And many organizations don't have 6, soon to be 7, because Marvin is coming up on the end now. And soon to be 8 in a few minutes. And because I think we have a couple other people that are in there as well. But we have an organization that's full of knowledgeable travel advisors and business owners that can help you grow your business and to increase your family. And, and our last thing I'll say is oftentimes people are praying for opportunity that, you're struggling financially, you're looking for a change and you've been praying and asking God to show you something. And oftentimes you look right past it and it's right in your face because you don't expect it to look like this. You're expecting it to look different, but it's not. This is it. So if you're one of those people that's been saying, God, I just need you to, show me something, show me how I can make a difference and change my family. This is an opportunity. And I can tell you because it's changing 75,000 people already. Lives are being changed by this opportunity. And there's no reason why you can't be the next one. It works when you work it. And you can make a lot of money. We show you how to be profitable and how to have fun.
And that is absolutely true. And I would say most people are not entrepreneurs simply because they weren't raised in an entrepreneurial environment. 99% of the world today gets their groceries or gets their food from the grocery store simply because they were raised to do so. But I can remember back in the day, man, when I was a kid, probably about 8, 9 years old, aunt's house in South Carolina. And for the very first time, seeing an apple tree in person and seeing the apples fall off the tree to the ground. I remember picking up the apple. And to this day, I can taste that apple being the best apple I've ever tasted because it was homegrown. But that's how entrepreneurship is. When you really allow yourself to get in an environment where we teach you how to grow your own food, it's going to taste so much better because now you're not going shopping at someone else's table who have already done the growing of the food, and you're just getting a piece of what they've already went out there to do.
I ain't never heard that one before. That was a new one. I ain't heard that one before.
Exactly. That's what
I had to bring out something for the misfits on tonight.
Oh my goodness.
You is smart and you is a boy.
Oh my goodness. That was
That's why I married you.
That's why I married you.
That's why I married you. That's right there.
See, that's good. That's good. This has been an awesome experience. This is, unfortunately, we're running out of time. We definitely don't want to hold you guys. You guys got other things, other engagements to get to, so we definitely want to have you on because we do have like a lightning round of questions that we want to go through. That's to test to see how much you guys really know after about 20 years. So,
good.
But we definitely want to have you guys back on, not only just to get to that, but to get some more of this awesome information. You know what I mean? Like people don't understand that they just got $1 million worth of game for free.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
And that's how I truly feel.
Wow. That's powerful.
Let's get it. Let's go. Let's
Right.
have some fun.
Go.
Let's help some people, and let's make some money together.
I love it. Well, I just want to say thank you both.
Yes, thank y'all so much for having
so
us.
much for having us.
And for
on.
Coach Darren,
Yeah, I
Darren.
was just going to mention Darren. Yeah, I know. I hope y'all win y'all game. You were missed tonight, but
What's his code name? What's his name on here? What's his name? The crazy coach. What is his name?
What is he? The quiet.
The quiet storm. That's what he is.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Take it to the chill factor, because he's so laid back. You don't really.
He is.
That fits him. That's a good name for him.
Yeah, the chill factor.
But thank you all so much for just sharing your platform with us and allowing us to come on and just share a little bit of our life and our experience with you all and your viewers. You guys stay tuned in and plugged into this podcast. They are amazing. We love them from the bottom of our heart. They are definitely people that you want to connect with. You got West Coast, so even if you're not on East Coast time, look, whatever you need, we got you. We got you on each coast, right? But they are amazing leaders. They're leaders within our organization, and they can definitely help you to win on a large level. So make sure y'all connect with them, stay plugged in, and watch their podcast. They so dope.
Get with the Travel Misfits.
There you go.
Get with the Travel Misfits.
Yeah. Oh, it's got a lot going on up in there.
Dropping bars.
Bars.
That was good, P. Scott.
Oh, man. Thank y'all so much for having us.
Thank you. We love y'all.
Love y'all so much.
Good night, people. All the viewers, thank you all for tuning in.
There we go.